Welcome back to another episode of Cameron's Sports Podcast. I am your host, Cameron Lindsay. I go by Cam for short. Today's episode, I'm going to start off by saying that rest in peace to Devin Willock, a student athlete for the University of Georgia who was an offensive lineman for the back-to-back national champions. And rest in peace to Chandler LaCroix, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, a UGA recruiting analyst. Both passed away like about 2 weeks ago in a car crash, a couple of days after they won the national championship. So rest in peace to that, because it's not always about sports, but a lot of people's lives matter more. So I just want to say that. And a couple of announcements before we get into some of the topics of my today's episode. Stuff coming from my channel, I got a logo that I'm getting done. A friend of mine with my internship with the Columbus River Dragons, she's doing my logo, and then after that, I'm having shirts, hats. So sometime during this year, you'll see me promoting the podcast, the channel, get more people to watch, get more people interested. So I'm gonna have business cards promoting all my social medias, subscribing to this channel, Instagram, Twitter, all that. Gonna have new and different guests on the show, so you'll see me debating or breaking down sports, athletes, news that's going around in the sports world. So you're gonna see more guests as this year goes on. I'm gonna have interviews and also going to be talking about the MLB baseball season that comes up in March. We're gonna have the hockey. We're also gonna start talking about the hockey season that's going on now. So when as playoffs get closer for the NHL, interviews. I'm gonna have interviews from Division I football players, D2, really all recruits at all levels, D1, D2, D3, JUCO, from players like at Central, here in Columbus, Phoenix City, which is right across the border from Columbus, so it's right there. Gonna have interviews from players like Justin Simmons, Cameron Coleman at Central, so I'm gonna interview a lot of their players this year, probably maybe around spring football. And yeah, you're gonna put it on the channel, and y'all get to see those interviews and meet these players and get to know about them and about their journey of them being a student athlete, especially in high school, and trying to get ready for the next level in college. So I look forward to that, because I really want to, that's really what I want to do the most as far as especially football. But I also want people to meet these players, and I love seeing players, recruits, grind and be able to play college football. So I really love that. So you're gonna see more of that. All right. So first news I'm going to talk about is congratulations to LeBron James. He reached the 38,000 career points mark. So he's only the second player in history to do that. But besides Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's less than 200 points away, like 150, 20-something points away from passing Kareem to be the all-time league's scorer. So watch out for that. Maya Moore recently retired from the WNBA. She was the 2011 number 1 overall pick out of UConn. She had 5 straight seasons of all WNBA first team. 2012, she was second team. 2014 and 17, she was second team all defense. So 2014 and 2017, she was a 4-time WNBA champion, won it in 2011, 13, 15, and 17. She was a WNBA MVP in 2014. So, I may not watch the WNBA that much, but with Maya Moore, I do know who she is and watched her quite a bit, and it's sad to see her go, but she definitely gonna be a Hall of Fame. She's gonna be a Hall of Famer. So that's no doubt right there. First ballot So congratulations to Maya Moore on an amazing career in the WNBA. And next we have some big fights coming up, boxing and UFC. And I'm going to, as I list these matchups, I'm also give my predictions of the winners, whether it's by round, knockout, or TKO goes the distance. First, we got Gervonta Davis, 28-0 with 26 knockouts. Gervonta Davis is a very, very great fighter, great knockout power. Some will say the next Floyd Mayweather. Well, he is in Floyd's camp. He is signed by Floyd, so he will be going against Ryan Garcia, who's 23-0, 19 knockouts. This fight will be April 15th. So got a few months for that. We all been wanting this fight for a long time. I think this is a fight that everybody should want to see, especially fighting fans, sports fans in general. So I can't wait. I feel like this fight can go either way, but it's gonna be a hard decision to pick. But I'm gonna go with Gervonta Davis by knockout in the 12th round. I'm gonna say knockout. He's gonna get Ryan. I feel like it's gonna go the distance. I feel like either way, if Ryan wins, it's gonna be a knockout. I feel like we gotta see a knockout in this fight, and I feel like Gervonta is going to win by knockout because he got the power, he got the speed. Don't get but he gotta watch out because Ryan also got that speed too, also, and got some power. So I'm gonna go with Gervonta Davis in that fight come April 15th. So remember, April 15th, this fight will be going down. Next, we have Game versus John Bones Jones. For those who don't know John Bones Jones, he was arguably the greatest light heavyweight champion in UFC history. They will be facing each other March 4th for the vacant UFC heavyweight title. So John Bones Jones has moved up to the heavyweight division, and they will be fighting for the vacant heavyweight title. And Jones hasn't fought in over 1,000 days, and I know he's been training. This was a hard one, but I'm gonna trust my gut and go with Jones winner. It goes a distance. I don't know knockout. I went by split decision. So I think it goes a distance, and Jones wins and shows people why he's the greatest fighter in UFC history, in my opinion. He only got one loss, and that was by disqualification. So technically, he hasn't really lost a fight, really. And that fight will be going down March 4th, UFC 285. The next fight, we have Edwards versus Usman, Part 3. This will be a rematch for the welterweight title, March 18th at UFC 286. Edwards beat Usman for the welterweight title late last year, so this will be a rematch. Usman lost in the last round by knockout. Edwards caught him with a nice kick. I think it was a kick or knee. Caught him with a nice kick, and it was over. Maybe Usman probably would have won, maybe by decision if he didn't get knocked out. But it happens. So yeah, but if I had to, I'm gonna say Edwards, which retains. Edwards retains. Because I think, somebody that went going to the ground, he has lost to Usman the first fight. Grind beat him in the second fight, and I feel like he probably gonna want to lose that title no time soon, especially after he just won it not too long ago in late 2022. So Usman wins that fight, retains the welterweight title. This fight will be March 18th at UFC 286. Now this next fight, this is a boxing a fight that I've been waiting for a long time. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. For those who don't know, Jake Paul was a Disney star growing up, YouTube sensation with his brother Logan Paul. Jake, became a boxer a couple years ago, and he's currently like 6-0 in his career in boxing. His last fight, he beat a UFC legend. So, but finally, Tommy Fury, he's gonna be fighting. They were supposed to fight last year, but the fight kept getting delayed and canceled. So I really pray that this fight does not get canceled, so we can finally see what these two can do going against each other. Cause I respect Jake Paul as a boxer. He can box, but I feel like I want to see him against somebody, even if it's not Tyson Fury or something, But even though that'd be a mismatch, so even if he beats Tommy Fury, I'll gain even more respect for him. But if he loses, but he goes the distance, I'll still gain even more respect for him. As long as this fight goes down and no canceled, nothing, no money, no this person gets mad because they don't get enough money. So I'm gonna go for this fight. I'm gonna go with Jake Paul. Jake Paul winner. Cause I don't know. I feel like he been taking it serious. I feel like Jake gonna win him by split decision. I don't think he's gonna knock him out, but I think Jake's gonna win by split decision. So it's gonna be a great fight between these two, and Jake wins, moving on to 7-0, and he finally gets the respect that he deserves. Even though, like I said, he ain't my favorite fighter, but I respect him. So I think Jake Paul wins that fight. Let me know what y'all think of these matchups. Again, Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia, April 15th. That's a boxing. UFC Gang versus John Jones for the UFC vacant heavyweight title at March 4th, the UFC 285. Edwards versus Usman, part 3 for the welterweight title. That will be March 18th, the UFC 286. And Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. That fight will be next month, February 25th. So we got this fight will be next month, so that's coming up. So y'all get your popcorn ready. So and see some boxing going, see some fights, gonna see a great fight, see some great fights this year, and I can't wait to talk about this on this podcast. And now next up we have Colorado. Deion Sanders, like I said, for those of you who already know or may not know, Deion Sanders is this new head coach at Colorado. He was named the coach late last year in 2022. He already has his son Shedeur there, a lot of the transfers. He got Travis Hunter to transfer to Colorado with him. So he brought his luggage from Jackson State to Colorado. So he's already loading up. He ain't playing. Deion Sanders is not playing. And I feel like I said, I feel like he's gonna, it wouldn't surprise me. They're gonna go to a bowl game, but it wouldn't surprise me if they won the Pac-12 this next upcoming season. If they won the Pac-12, with the playoff going to 12 teams, they will. I think they'll make it, but this year college football playoff, they probably might not make it, especially his first year. So would it surprise me if he made it? No, but we'll see, because his schedule, I'm gonna go down in just a few minutes. It's really hard, but for those of you who don't know, Deion Sanders has flipped 5-star recruit Cormani McClain from the University of Miami to Colorado. Cormani was originally committed to Miami for pretty much the majority of last year, but he took a visit there and he flipped Cormani. Cormani never signed on National Signing Day back in December, and he didn't sign at the Under Armour All-American game. And this is the second straight year Deion Sanders has got the number one corner in each class. So 2022 and 2023 has got the number one corner to flip and come join him, because he's the greatest corner of all time. So why wouldn't you want to get coached by him? Cormani is the number one corner, like I said, in 2023 class. He's the 14th ranked overall player in ESPN 300. So with Cormani and Travis, that secondary, I think they're gonna already have the best secondary in the Pac-12. Even with a freshman and a sophomore, I think they're gonna have a real great duo, and that's gonna be one scary duo in the Pac-12. Colorado has really turned it around because they only won one game last season, one game, and so, but they also got a hard schedule, which I will go through right now. Their first game of the 2023 season, Colorado plays TCU at TCU. Now, TCU, they won't have Max Duggan. He'll be gone. Their number one receiver will be gone. I think their running back will still be there or not, but we'll have to see about that. But this is at TCU, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna say that Deion gets the win with TCU. I feel like they're gonna win that at TCU. Nebraska with Matt Rule, that's gonna be probably an interesting game because Matt Rule is already recruiting some good players. He has a habit of turning around programs that were bad a year previously and increasing wins. So, but that's at home, and I think Colorado gets the win over that. Now, the next one, of course, they play Colorado State at home. Obviously, they're going to get the win against that. That's Colorado State. Now, this is where it gets interesting right here. Their fourth game is at Oregon, and that's with Bo Nix. It's a lot of other returning starters. Now, Bo Nix, arguably, probably a Heisman Trophy candidate next upcoming season. Maybe could be a high pick. I don't know, but that's at Oregon. Ooh, with that defense, I'm gonna say, y'all. I'm trying to at Oregon. Ooh, I'm gonna have to give them a loss on that one. Just a lot. That's early in the season. They'll be 3-1, so they'll start the season 3-0 and lose to Oregon in a close game. At home against USC, that's another one. Caleb Williams, Lincoln Riley. So the Heisman, who's a reigning Heisman Trophy candidate, and Lincoln Riley is a great offensive genius, but terrible with defenses. So because at Oklahoma they had no defense, so I'm gonna say Colorado beats USC and gets a W at home against them. At Arizona State, I'm going to give them the W over that because I don't think Arizona State is really all that really good. At home against Stanford, I'll give them the win over Stanford. At UCLA, now it's going to be interesting because their quarterback is gone. They might have a freshman and Dante Moore, but that's a freshman against Shedeur Sanders and them. I feel like they'll win a close one at UCLA. At home against Oregon State, that Oregon State has gotten better, so that's going to be a hard-fought game. I think they get a close one over Oregon State. Now, if it was at Oregon State, I might have to give them the loss. At home against Arizona ain't all that good either, so I'm giving them the win over Arizona. Now, these last two games are pretty interesting. At Washington State, at Utah. At Washington State, that'd be competitive because Washington State usually kind of is here and there. But I'm going to give the win over Washington State. At Utah, with Cam Rising coming back and they're the defending Pac-12 champions, I feel like that's going to be a tough one to play in Utah. At Utah, so I'm going to have to give them a loss in a close one. And they finished the regular season 10-2 with maybe possibly a Pac-12 championship berth, but I got them 10-2 for the 2023 season with only losses to at Oregon and at Utah. But this schedule is pretty hard, USC or Oregon, I want to debate that, but if it was at USC, I'm gonna have to give them a loss on that. But I say Deion goes 10-2 his first season. I feel like they'll at least go to a New Year's Six bowl. I feel like they'll at least go to a New Year's Six bowl if they don't go to the Pac-12 championship. But Colorado, like they say, they coming. They got a great recruiting class already. Deion is already up their recruiting class this year. And he's, like I said, got Cormani McClain, got his sons, got Travis Hunter, and more pieces coming along. So he's not hard to find, and I hope eventually one day to interview Dion, maybe while he's at Colorado or who knows where else, So, but yeah, that's the schedule for Colorado. I got them 10-2 and they will be competing for a Pac-12 championship berth, possibly. So, see what happens. Next up, we have some NFL football. For those that you don't know, the NFL draft is in late April. We got some top draft prospects that declared for the 2023 NFL draft. You got quarterback Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Jackson Smith, Ijigba. You got Michael Mayer, tight end, Bijan Robinson, running back, Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Quentin Johnson, wide receiver out of TCU, Jordan Addison, wide receiver, USC, and Darnell Washington, tight end out of Georgia. You also got Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama, Kaylee Ringo, corner out of Georgia. So those are some of the top prospects. I think the number one prospect in this draft is Will Anderson. So, but for those you NFL fans that don't know, the top 10 order for the NFL 2023 NFL draft, you got the Bears with the number 1 overall pick, the Texans number 2 overall, Arizona number 3 overall, the Colts 4th overall, Seahawks 5th overall, Lions 6th overall, Raiders 7th, Falcons 8th overall pick, Panthers 9th, and Eagles 10th. Now, the Lions had the 6th overall pick, even though they finished with a winning record. Got that pick because of a trade with the Rams last year for Matthew Stafford. The Eagles got the 10th overall pick via the New Orleans Saints. So there's a couple teams that got picks because of trades. Oh, and like the Seahawks that made the playoffs, they had the 5th overall pick because of Denver, because of the Russell Wilson trade. So they had the 5th overall pick. And I feel like I said, I will give my NFL draft, mock draft soon. And I will give you my opinion where these players will get drafted at and where I think they should go and what players I think each team should draft as far as their needs heading into the offseason. But yeah, that is the news for the upcoming NFL draft. Pay attention, the NFL Combine's coming up. You got the Senior Bowl, you got the East-West Shrine Bowl. So we got time to the NFL draft, and I will have my mock draft ready soon by then. Now, for those who don't know, let's get to the main event of today's show. I'm excited. Are y'all excited? I can see the look on your face. I know y'all excited, but I am. We got the first matchup, which because it's conference championship weekend, championship Sunday. The NFC Championship game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is the second straight year that the 49ers have made it to the NFC Championship game. Last year, they lost to the Rams in a close game. So, this is the third NFC Championship game under Kyle Shanahan, and since he's became the coach. They beat the Cowboys in a divisional round last weekend, 19-12, and they're on a 12-game win streak. They finished the regular season with a 11-game win streak. 10-game win streak. Beat the Seahawks in the wild card round and beat the Cowboys in divisional to advance to the NFC Championship game. Now, time for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're back in the NFC Championship game for the first time since 2017, which is not too long ago. That's the year they won. The last time they hosted, because they'll be hosting the NFC Championship game, they won the Super Bowl. That year they beat the Vikings in the NFC Championship game and went on to win the Super Bowl. They beat the Giants in the division round. That's the number 1 seed badly. I thought it would be a good game, but this surprised me because the Eagles, I feel like, are well-rounded, just like the 49ers are. These are two rosters that are pretty much about equally matched. Maybe 49ers defense is a little bit better, but it's close. These for offense and defense now. I think the only thing that separates these two teams is the quarterback play. I think Jalen Hurts is far better than Brock Purdy. Even though Brock has been playing very well, maybe he is that franchise quarterback. I wouldn't give up on Trey Lance, even though he's been hurt. I would say have a quarterback battle heading to the offseason with training camp. So let Trey Lance and Brock Purdy battle it out for that starting job. If Brock Purdy wins and he ends up keep balling into the season, 2023 season, then he's a starter. Then I would trade Trey Lance. But you won't get the same thing you gave up to get Trey Lance. The 49ers pretty much gave up a fortune to get him, and just turn out because Brock Purdy, for those you don't know, was Mr. Relevant. He was the last pick in the 2022 NFL draft last year. So he's out of Iowa State, the last pick. So, congratulations to him for coming this far, being the last pick and grinding. And next you know, you have a chance to play in the Super Bowl, potentially, if you beat the Eagles. Now, this game is going to be a close one. Very, very close one. You got two teams with very good defense. The 49ers, you got Nick Bosa, who's going to be the Defensive Player of the Year. You got Eric Armstead. You got Fred Warner, who's possibly the best middle linebacker in the NFL. You got Funga, who's one of the best safety. He's all-pro. You got Jimmy Ward. So you got some pretty good defense right there that runs, they're physical, and they're gonna get after you. So, and then the 49ers on offense, you got Deebo Samuel, who's an all-purpose receiver, running and catching it. You got George Kittle, one of the top 3 tight ends in the NFL. You got Brandon Ayuk, who's an underrated receiver. You got Jennings, underrated receiver. And you got Christian McCaffrey, who's arguably one of the best running backs in the NFL. So that's some star power right there. Now for the Eagles, in the defense side, they got a real good defense too. Like I said, it may not be quite better than the 49ers, but it's up there with them, if y'all get what I'm saying. Like they're about neck and neck, because the Eagles had over 70 sacks in the regular season. So their defense is up there. You got Fletcher Cox, even though he's older, he's still producing. Brandon Graham, older but still producing. They defensive line, they stacked. They got depth between their defensive line. They stopped the run pretty well. You got Darius Slay and Bradbury, arguably the best cornerback tandem in the league. You got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, one of the best nickel corners, safety. He's tied for one of the league-leading interceptions. So you got him. You got Kaiser White. So that defense is ready. They showed it against the Giants, who had Daniel Jones, who looked like the next coming of Steve Young, against the Vikings a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, their defense. And then the opposite side of the ball for the Eagles, you got A.J. Brown, who had a career year. You got Devontae Smith, career year. You got Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins, Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, who's an MVP candidate. They haven't announced the MVP, but I think he would have won it if he didn't get hurt at the end of the year. But that's the star power that the Eagles have. And Jalen Hurts is 100% healthy, at least 90%. And this game, my prediction, I got the Eagles 20-16 over the 49ers to advance to the Super Bowl. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Jalen Hurts is going to do what he got to do. He may not throw for a lot of yards, but he's going to do what he got to do and get the Eagles back to the Super Bowl over the 49ers. And next up, we have the AFC Championship game that will be in Kansas City. Now, for this one, the Bengals beat the Chiefs in last year's AFC Championship game in Kansas City, 27-24 in overtime. Now, the Bengals also beat the Chiefs at home at their place, 27-24 in the regular season this season. They also beat the Chiefs 34-31 in 2021 regular season. And the Bengals also beat the Buffalo Bills to get to the AFC Championship game in the division round, 27-10. So they have beat the Chiefs within the last couple of years 3 straight times. Burrow is undefeated against Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, that's an interesting matchup right there. The Chiefs have lost to the Bengals pretty much in 4 straight matchups in the including the postseason. The Chiefs have made this is their fifth straight AFC Championship game. All 5 times they have hosted the AFC Championship game. They are 2-2 since Patrick Mahomes has become the quarterback. Become the quarterback and it's the first 4 years starting. The Chiefs beat the Jaguars 27-20 in the division round. Now Patrick Mahomes did get hurt early in that game, and their backup had to come in for like the rest of the half to finish it off because Patrick Mahomes got checked. But he will be playing in this game. He do got an ankle sprain, so we don't know if he's 50%, 80%, 90%. So that does play a big factor in this game, and I know a lot of analysts are talking like, will this affect him? I feel like one thing I'll say about Patrick Mahomes, you can't underestimate him. Me as a Chargers fan, I know. Even if he's not 100%, he could be throwing the ball like this, or like this. Like you'll think you got him sacked, and next you know he going like this, and like just because he used to play baseball, so he can pitch, so he'll throw the ball all kinds of ways. He's gonna get the ball to his playmakers. Even though he don't got Tyreek Hill, he's still got Travis Kelce, and he's gonna find a way to get his receivers and running backs the ball. So I'm telling you, I know people picking the Bengals for this, but don't underestimate Patrick Mahomes. And I feel like he's motivated. Losing to the Bengals 4 straight times and 3 straight times in the past few years. Come on now. But I think it's gonna be a close game. I got the Chiefs 24-21 over the Bengals. I feel like they finally beat them, and Patrick Mahomes advances to his 3rd Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now I'm not gonna pick my prediction for that. I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna have a guest or two on my show. We're gonna talk about the Super Bowl and give our predictions about that. So I feel like it's gonna be a good weekend for Conference Championship weekend. Like I said, I look forward to these matchups. I really do, and I just hope that y'all enjoy them also. And the Super Bowl is coming up. I know NFL football is coming to an end. I know it's sad to say, but like I said, it's gonna be other sports that I'm gonna be talking about. Major League Baseball, hockey now. Even my internship with the Columbus Rivers Dragons, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. I'm gonna have interviews, so you won't, just because I can't talk about NFL football, the USFL football, this XFL football. You still got the NBA season. I'm gonna be talking about that, so look out for all that. And I really hope that y'all enjoy this episode. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that watching right now. Like I said, I'm not in a hurry to have a whole bunch of subscribers right now. I'm just taking it one day at a time, one episode at a time, one video at a time, and I'm gonna get there. You're gonna see me next year at a desk talking to Stephen A. Smith or Shannon Sharp debating. So like I said, me, so keep growing as an analyst. You're gonna see me with merch on. You're just gonna see a new, improved Cam each time you see me in front of this camera. So, but I appreciate all y'all watching. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a family member, anybody. Subscribe to Cameron Sports Podcast, and I will see y'all very, very soon.